Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So, we have a new update. John Sununu, not Chris Sununu, but his brother, has been kind of teasing a run for the Senate for a while. Now, Chris Sununu was teasing a run, seemed like he was not going to go for it. Now, John Sununu appears poised to jump in, possibly even this week. And this is huge because regardless of whatever you think of the Sununus, you want to call them establishment Republicans or outright rhinos, do what you want. The main point is New Hampshire has not elected any Republican at the presidential level since 2000. Couldn't even walk. George W. Bush won the state very narrowly, by the way, and it has not gone Republican since. And while it is true, and maybe in the 2030s or even 2028, we could see the state flip into the Republican column. I will say that New Hampshire is just not really, a state that in a midterm year or even probably a presidential year is going to elect some like MAGA senator or whatever. But with the Sununus, you have like a team player type who will vote the correct way, not really be a thorn in your side, and it's still the best you could do in New Hampshire. But even taking that away, this is just going to force Democrats to really play a lot of defense in the Senate, and they already have such a minimal path to retake the Senate, and we're going to go over that. But this makes it a lot tougher because now you're taking another Senate seat that probably the Democrats were going to win. You could say lean, you could say likely Democrat, even maybe. But now I think it squarely puts it in the toss-up category, and Democrats are going to have a lot of defending to do, and it's not just in New Hampshire, so we're going to dive into it. But first, really quickly, I got to tell you guys about my friends over at Allegiance Gold. While the media is obsessing about Trump's tariff, something big is brewing and nobody's talking about it except right here. Because under new Basel III international banking rules, gold has officially been reclassified as a Tier 1 asset, placing it on the same level as cash and U.S. Treasuries. Translation, gold is money again. Just in the first quarter, thousands of tons of gold were quietly moved back to the U.S. from Europe. Meanwhile, central banks around the globe are stockpiling gold at record levels. That's not a coincidence, it's a signal. So if the world's most powerful financial institutions are hoarding gold, why aren't you? Don't wait. Call Allegiance Gold, the trusted experts that I've partnered with that have the highest ratings and accolades. They'll help you secure real physical gold and silver delivered straight to your home or placed securely inside your IRA or 401k. Go to allegiancegold.com/redeagle or call 844-790-9191. That's 844-790-9191 and mention Red Eagle. You could be eligible to receive up to $5,000 in free metals, but only if you act now, because gold is freedom, gold is sovereignty, and as of now, gold is officially money. That's allegiancegold.com/redeagle or call 844-790-9191 today. All right, guys, back to the video. So John Sununu running for Senate, and this right here is not entirely a Senate prediction that we're going to do. We're not doing a prediction map. We already did that for the month of October. We'll do another one sometime during the month of November. But this is a Senate map that is just going to kind of go over why the Democrats are just in for a rough year, because I can guarantee you they're not winning any of the states that I'm coloring in red right here. I mean, they're not going to win really any of these states out of the gate. We could fill them all in, and the Republicans are already like at 49 seats out of the gate. Now, the Democrats, yeah, they'll get like Oregon, they'll get Colorado, probably going to hold New Mexico, Virginia, these states out here, Illinois, probably Minnesota, and then Republicans already have like this 49-44 baked in advantage. And Republicans are very likely to win the state of Ohio in the Senate race. Sherrod Brown is basically running a vanity campaign. Even he is probably not in this to win this as much as a lot of Democrats would really like to believe. And so many even unions that have backed Sherrod Brown every election that he's been the nominee in since 2006 are backing the Republican. This is a different Ohio. This is a different ballgame, midterm year or not. Ohio is MAGA country. That's exactly what it is. It used to be a swing state that Democrats had a 50% chance of winning depending on the year. Well, now Republicans have a near 100% chance, and they're going to win the governorship. They're going to win the Senate race. They're going to win all the statewide offices there. And Alaska is another state Democrats are clinging to, which is crazy because keep in mind, Democrats need 51 Senate seats to take the Senate back, and they're not going to have that. You know, maybe if they get 50, they could persuade somebody like Elisa Murkowski to like switch parties or whatever. That probably would be their best bet, but I don't think they're even going to get to 50 because they'll possibly try to run Mary Peltola in the state of Alaska. And again, this is a national federal Senate race. I know that she won a House race in kind of a little bit of a fluke, but it wasn't against a strong incumbent, and she already lost, so she's damaged goods in that regard electorally because she fell short. And usually when that happens, just like Sherrod Brown in Ohio, just like in many other places we've seen, people that overperform by a lot and then lose and then try to run again don't do so well in a lot of circumstances. So it's not looking good for the Democrats there, meaning there are 5 Senate races left on the board. Now let's talk about each one of these races. I'm not going to do this as like a prediction, but this is for the quality of said candidates, getting the top recruits. Are Republicans getting the top recruits, or are Democrats getting the top recruits? So let's begin. Start off with Michigan, actually. We'll work our way northeast before we head south. So Republicans got Mike Rogers. He narrowly fell short last time against a strong Democrat who was very well funded. She was a sociopath. It doesn't matter. Enough voters fell for it. And the third party candidate, one of the third party candidates, kind of helped boost her over the finish line, and she didn't win by much. But Michigan, he's a decent fit, especially for a midterm electorate, plays well to it. The Democrats, on the other hand, you have an Islamic socialist. You also have this obnoxious congresswoman who has these meltdowns. She's not cut out for it. She's not liked by a good portion of the base. And then you have like this lesser-known candidate, Mallory McMorrow, who some Democrats that are somewhat in tune electorally think would be like the best bet. And maybe of those three she is, but is she likely to win a primary? Probably not at this stage in the game. And even then, she's got some policy baggage that doesn't really make her that strong of a candidate altogether. And keep in mind, who was the top recruit for Democrats in Michigan? Gretchen Whitmer. Guess what? Gretchen Whitmer didn't run. So there's that. New Hampshire. Democrats have an incumbent senator, Jeanne Shaheen. Now, Jeanne Shaheen has decided that she's going to retire, and Democrats are going to put up Chris Pappas. So maybe they got their number 2 in there, but that was not their number 1, and Pappas is somewhat overrated, has not faced serious competition his entire career, hasn't been a super overperformer, and he's facing a Sununu, meaning that even if it wasn't Chris Sununu, it's fair to say that the Republicans got a better candidate for them than the Democrats got for them. So again, that's another state, and we could fill in these states maybe in the lean color where the candidate quality is. So if you're jumping to the end of the video and leaving a comment that's either somewhat of a mixture of confusion and anger, well, should have watched the entire video. Now, Maine. Susan Collins is probably like the only Republican that can win in Maine, whether people are a big fan of Susan Collins or not. And the Democrats, they don't really have like a major option. Sarah Gideon was supposed to be that candidate for them in 2020, and she was leading the polls by 10, and she lost by 10. It was abysmal. And now not a lot of people want to run against Collins, and a lot of Democrats in the state have worked with Collins and have liked Collins a lot over the years. Janet Mills might run, the governor there. She's not all that popular. She's not all that strong. And she's also very old, which doesn't really help out in the electability department either. Even if she did win, she'd only be there for, like one term. And a lot of Democrats do prefer this guy, Graham Plattner, but it's like a new scandal drops with this guy, every single week. Well, one week he's posting stuff on Reddit about how he's training like communist super soldiers and saying all these horrible things about people that are his constituents. And it's like, this guy's a disaster. He's a clown, and he can put on like the friendly face in front of the camera, but it's not going to be able to withstand the war chest full of advertisements and things like that. So again, Democrats failing in Maine, regardless of whoever they put up. North Carolina, that's, I think, an equally matched state when it comes down to the quality of candidate that you see there, because you have the Democrats running their strongest candidate, Roy Cooper, not saying he's going to win, and he may have some skeletons in his closet about this whole train situation, letting this criminal out of jail that stabbed the Ukrainian refugee on the train in Charlotte was a total disaster. And then the Republicans on the flip side, they are kicking Tom Tillis to the curb, which some people will say, well, that, you're getting rid of an incumbent. This was one of the cases where that's a benefit, actually, to get rid of the incumbent. And instead, you get somebody like Michael Whatley, who's more generic, a good fit for the state, and able to raise a hell of a lot of money. And that's what you need to do in a midterm year to defeat somebody like a Roy Cooper. So either way, I'm going to say both parties got it right there. Georgia, John Ossoff running for re-election. I think he's overhyped. I think he's overrated. I don't think he's guaranteed to win. He might even lose. I think it probably ends up going to a runoff, but things could change. Now, on the Republican side, they tried to get Brian Kemp, and they failed. I like Mike Collins a lot, but I think that this is one of the states where, yeah, Mike Collins is a good shot to win. I'd rather have a Senator Mike Collins than a Senator Brian Kemp by a long shot, but at the same time, I would say that Democrats probably got the best of us in that department in the state of Georgia when it came down to that, just because they could run their incumbent who has a lot of money, and the Republican field is still a little divided, but hopefully it consolidates behind Mike Collins. So again, I'm not predicting a 54-45 Senate. In fact, we could very well see a 56-44 Republican Senate. We could even see a 51-49 Republican Senate. But Democrats aren't winning the Senate, and the more seats like this they have to defend, the worse it is for them. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle out.